Have you ever wanted a dress that looks structured in front yet stays comfortable at the back? In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to draft and sew this bell sleeve dress that has a cinched front waist and a back elastic waist. If this is something you would like to watch, just till to the end. To get started, you are going to be needing the following materials, and I'm going to be making use of this crepe fabric. I have 2 yards in this video. You're also going to be needing some elastic, and for clarity, I'm going to be making use of pattern paper. All right, to get started, you would need your pattern paper, and please do note you need a very long part for the sleeve part, okay? Because you are going to be measuring from the midpoint of your neck down to where you want your sleeve to end. After you've gotten that, the next thing is to indicate your origin line, as you can see me do. And for the purpose of this tutorial, since it's a short dress, I'm going to be making use of the whole of this pattern length, this paper length, which is 36 in my own case. So you decide the length you want. And after doing that, I'm just going to go back to the origin point, which is where I'm going to be inserting my shoulder to my sleeve measurement. For my, I made use of 30 inches. You can decide to do more than this depending on the amount of fabric you have. So I went ahead to mark 30 inches, which is going to be for my sleeve length. And after doing that on that line, you are going to be inserting your sleeve opening, just like the way you can see me taking my sleeve opening toward my wrist point. So go ahead to indicate your sleeve opening divided by 2. In my case, I made use of 20 inches, and after dividing by 2, I had about 10 inches. Now, do know that this is a bell sleeve, so the wider you want it, the more you have to increase the length. So after doing that, I'm just going to go ahead to trace out the parts I'm not going to be needing anymore. Please do note that this part I marked as my sleeve opening, the length I marked include my hemming allowance that I'm going to be using. All right, after doing that, now I turn my pattern paper to the other side, and I'm going to go ahead to impute my vertical measurement, starting with my shoulder to my sleeve opening, which is 10.5, shoulder to my bust point, shoulder to my under bust, shoulder to my waist, and shoulder to my hip. So please just pay attention to these lines and to the labeling I'm going to be doing on it. So you're going to be needing your vertical measurements, okay? This is really important. So I'm just going to go ahead to label this as you can see me do. So, like I said, you need your under bust, you need your waist, you need your hip, and now my sleeve opening line is going to be my chest line. So, after doing that, I'm going to go ahead to impute my waist round measurement divided by 4. Same, I'm going to mark same thing on my under bust point, and on my chest line, I'm going to be imputing my bust measurement divided by 4. Also, on my hip line, I'm going to be dividing my hip round measurement divided by 4. And after doing all of this, I'm going to connect my under bust to my waistline like so, and my waist down to my hip like so. Please do note for this hip round measurement, you want to add at least 2 extra inches to give that hip effect. Okay, so I added 2 extra inches to my hip measurement, my hip round measurement after dividing by 4. And I'm just going to go ahead to repeat the measurement on my hip round line on the hem of, that's the lower part of this pattern paper. So this is what I have when I'm done doing that. So now I'm going to go ahead to that point I made on my chest line, which is my bust round divided by 4. I'm going to go ahead to impute from the origin line. I'm going to go ahead to impute my original armhole measurements, which is 8 inches. So I'm going to use that to create that slight curve, as you can see, then connect it in form of a slant to meet the end of the sleeve opening. This is just to give a bell sleeve shape, okay? So now, from this point now, I'm going to go ahead to blend this line into my under bust line. So you can see that I'm not having a perfect curve, so it's fine. I'm just going to go ahead with my marker, as you can see, then make it a curve. All right, so this is going to be for our front piece. This is not yet complete. So this is my center front. Okay, we're going to be altering this pattern, and it's the same pattern I'm going to be using to cut the back. Okay, so I'm going to go to the neck point, and I'm going to mark my neck width. I use 3.5 in my case. And neck depth for the back, I'm marking the back, not the front yet. So for the back, I made use of 2 inches. You can decide to use 1 inch if you don't want it to be deep. Okay, that's at the back. So after doing that, I'm just going to, from my hip point now, I'm going to connect it into my sleeve point. Okay, yes, this line I'm about to make is what is going to give me my back pattern. So I'm just going to take it in form of a straight line to enter into my hip line like so. Okay, so now this is going to be for my back sleeve pattern. And after doing that, I'm just going to go ahead to add the sewing allowance of 1 inch round. You can decide to do 1.5. This is totally up to what you want. So after doing that, I'm just going to go ahead to connect the shape like so, and I'm going to go ahead to bring out my my sleeve slope after this. So you want to take your time to connect every point and to mark every curve perfectly. So after doing this now, I'm going to go on my sleeve opening point. I'm going to come down about 1 inch. You can decide to go down by 1.5. Just make sure it does not really affect your sleeve opening measurements too much. So I'm going to come down just by 1 inch. I already factored this in when I use 10 inches for my sleeve opening. So I'm going to connect this to my neck width, which is going to be my sleeve slope. Okay. So after I've done all of this, I'm just going to go ahead to cut it. And this is what I have when I'm done. So right now I'm going to fold my pattern into two, my fabric rather, and I'm going to go ahead to cut out my back pattern. So this is what my back pattern. Please make sure you note the under bust, you notch the under bust and the waist point. This is really important because this is where you're going to be having your elastic casing. So I've gone ahead to notch those 2 points, and this is what the back pattern look like. You can see the clipped part, right? I'm going to be highlighting this when I'm showing you how to join the piece together later. So what I have when I open up the length of my waist now is about 21 inches, 21.5 inches. That's what I have as the length of my waist. And this is way bigger than my waist. So do note that your waist for the back is way bigger than that of the front. That's why we are using an elastic. All right. So I'm going to come back to this waist, to the front part. Now for the front part, from the hip part now, I'm going to follow my original curve that I made. Yes, I'm following this curve in adding my sewing allowance because, like I said, we're going to be adapting this particular pattern for the front piece. So I'm just going to connect from the hip point down to the waist point like so, and from the waist point down to the under bust like so. All right. So that's going to be for my front, and I'm going to be cutting this front piece into 3 parts. So please watch me closely. So now for the under bust part, if you look at the under bust, it's in form of an overlap and it has pleats. So because it has pleats, I'm not going to be making that under bust fitted like the curve you see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the original measurements that I used, okay? Just for the back part, I'm going to follow the original measurement. So watch closely the way I cut. I'm going to go ahead to cut out the skirt part, which is going to be for the lower bodies for the front. And I'm just going to go ahead to cut out the curve as you can see me do. So that is going to be it for the skirt. So we're going to be cutting this skirt part on fold. Please note, you're cutting on fold, not in piece. So after doing that, I'm going to go ahead also to cut out my waist measurement. Now remember that this particular tutorial has a cinched waist front. So the front has to be very fitted, yes. So I'm going to be cutting those waist part on fold, okay? So I'm going to cut it out as you can see, the exact waist. Just I only added 1 extra inch, which is going to be for my seam allowance. All right. So another thing you want to do is to indicate the upper part and the lower part so that when you are joining, you are going to know how to fix this. So my upper part is going to remain like so, the part that has the underbust. So this curve has nothing to do. This is the original thing I'm using. Another thing you can do on this part is to create slash lines and, if you want the pleat details to be really emphasized, but based on the tutorial, you really don't need to do that, okay? So this is what I have for my front piece. You can see I have three parts, okay? So we're going to be working on the upper part now to give us that overlap effect, and also, yes, to give us the overlap effect. So I'm going to go back now. I'm going to bring out a piece of pattern paper, and um I'm going to be placing this beside the center front of this paper, okay? Please note that whatever length you have should be the length that gives you your underbust. Now, for the neckline, this totally depends on you how deep you want it to be. For me, the depth is 6.5 inches. I made use of 6.5 inches, which was perfect. It was not too deep and it was not too high. So if you want yours to go lower than that, you can go down by 7 inches or by 8 inches. But 6.5 worked perfectly for me. So you're going to be having a V-neck line like you see. So like I said, you're going to be bringing in a piece of extra pattern paper, and you're just going to go ahead to, tape that down or use a glue just to glue it together. Now, what I'm trying to do here is to add the extension I need. Now, for the extension I need, I'm going to be adding 4 inches. I'm going to be adding 4 inches for the extension I need. You can use 2 inches, you can use 3 inches, but 4 inches is okay for me. Now I'm just going to go ahead from my neckline, my V neckline. I'm going to go ahead right now to just um, create a slant line using my ruler like so to meet the point, to meet that 4 inches extension I have. I'm just going to rule that down. Then I'm going to trim off what I don't need. Okay. So initially I'd planned to use 2 inches, but then I changed my mind, making it 4 inches. Okay, because I want this to overlap properly. So after doing that, I'm just going to mark out the shape properly, and I'm going to go ahead to cut this. So right now we have our overlap details that's been included in this front pattern. And basically this is what we need for the front pattern. So we have the upper part from the shoulder to the under bust, then we have the waist part, okay, then we have the skirt part. So for this front, what we're going to do, we're going to be creating tiny pleats. Tiny pleats, you can decide to use guiders too, but make pleats to get the exact tutorial until it fits perfectly into the waist part we already cut out. Okay, I'm going to be showing you this how you are going to do it when you want to join your piece together. All right, so for the upper part, you're cutting two pieces of that. It's best to cut on fold, then open it up so that you don't mix your piece together. So this is what the front pattern looks like. And from here now, we're going to go ahead to cut out our piece. So this is what I have for my front piece. As you can see, I have two pieces already. Please add 0.5 inches on the slant part and on the lower part where you're going to be joining. So this is what it looks like when I join the front together. Now for the skirt part, I'm just going to go on the center front. I'm going to go in by 0.5 inches. I went down the depth, and I'm going to create a curve so that my skirt can sit properly on my waistband. So after doing this, this is what I have for the skirt. I went ahead to cut the skirt and I added 0.5 inches on the upper part, okay? And this is what the skirt part looks like. Now for the waist part, this is what I have. We are going to be adding 0.5 inches on the upper and the lower parts because we are going to be joining those pieces together. Now for the back, like I said, the part I notch, I went ahead to highlight with chalk as you can see, and I have to cut out my casing. I have about 3.5 inches for what I use for our casing, and I'm going to be sewing this like so. I'm going to go ahead to sew this down on it, and that's wrong side facing wrong side. And after doing that, I'm going to go ahead to create 5 channels. Okay, you can mark 0.5 inches, create 5 channels, which I'm going to be passing my elastic through. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew this on my pattern paper from one end to the other end. All right. I'm going to be doing this off camera. So this is what my front pattern look like. And after I overlap it, the first thing you are going to do in order for it to be able to join this piece very well is to overlap the front. Then for the waistband, you would need an stay, tissue stay or stay anyone. So first of all, overlap the front using the front extension. So I have 4 inches as my front extension. I'm just going to place it like this, the way and I'm going to ensure that it is properly positioned. This is really important so that I don't take out of the measurement that I'm supposed to use to create pleats. So after determining my crotch and my overlap extension, I'm going to pin like so. Then the extra I have now, I'm going to go ahead just to create pleats on one side, and I'm going to go ahead to create the same amount of pleats on the other side. Please note, you're also going to be using a bias to turn out your neckline before you overlap. Please, I did this off camera. Turn out your neckline with a bias or with a facing before you go ahead to overlap and pleat. So after turning, after pleating, this is what I'm going to have. Then I'm going to put my band on the lower side. Then I cut two pieces for this band. Then I'll put the other one right side facing right side like this. So that at the end of the day, the upper part will be sandwiched in between the band. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead to press my stay on my band for stability. This is really important. So now this is my back. This is what I have. I've gone ahead to create the casing for my elastic, and I have 5 channels already. You can see how neat this is looking. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead is to measure what I have there. My case, I had about 21 inches. So for the elastic I used, I cut out 12 inches. Although at the end of the day, I felt I should have used about 15 inches. So because I'm using an elastic wideness of zero point 0.5, so it stretches really really well. So you can decide to just take maybe 7 inches out of whatever measurements you have on your back length, the back length, then use that to cut out your elastic. You're going to be needing 5 different lengths. Okay, after you remove your 7 inches, then you go ahead with your safety pin and start inserting each of these elastic into this channel. Now you are going to take your time to do this, and please, as you are inserting, in order not to do double work, try to pin it down. So when you get to one end, try to use a pin to pin that down, or go ahead to your sewing machine and just sew that edge so that you don't do double work. Okay. So if you've watched up to this point and you're gaining value as usual, don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment if you really love this video or if you are recreating. And if you are yet to be subscribed to this family, please do so. And don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that when I post videos, you get to see them. All right, so I'm going to do the remaining part of camera, and this is what it looks like when I was done. So the back piece is coming together. I've also gone ahead to turn the neckline with a bias strip using the same material. Now this is what the front look like. You can see how neat it is. The front has been sandwiched in between the band rather. So I'm going to bring out my skirt parts like this, and I'm going to sew it just to one part of the band. Okay, you want to take your time to pin this particular step might be a little bit tricky, but if it's something you can do properly, it kind of give your clothes, your outfits, a neat finish. So I'm going to go ahead to sew the first layer of the band first to it. Then after doing that, I'm going to go ahead to use the second band, as you can see me do, to turn it, pulling it together, pulling it together. Then I will have to remove it out from that hole when I'm done. So this is what the front and the back looks like. So you can see that it is really neat. And all I need to do at this point is just to go ahead now, place the front and the back and join it at the side. Okay. And now for the sleeve opening, please, I left about 6 inches from the lower part. That's the lower part of the sleeve. You can decide to add an stay there for stability. And I'm not going to be stitching that side to give us that slit effect that we can see in the video. So you can decide to leave about 6 to 7 inches for the slit effect. And after doing that, we are going to go ahead to see what the final look is. I hope you love this tutorial. Do let me know in the comment section if you are going to be trying.